Hello students, welcome back to my channel Lightup Knowledge and welcome to today's video. I hope you all are doing well. Today's video will be on the basic introduction to clauses and will also be the first video on the playlist of clauses. Now without any further ado or delay, let's get started. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words that forms a part of a sentence and has a subject and a finite verb of its own. So basically, clause is such a meaningful and ranged group of words and it forms a part of a sentence. Means it does not form a complete sentence because that would be sentence actually, right? So it forms a part of the sentence. And what does it contain? It contains a subject. What is a subject? Subject is a doer of the action, and the doer of an action would be a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun word. Okay, and it has a finite verb. Finite verb is a verb which changes its form according to the number and gender of a person or tense of the verb. I will explain you in a while. I will explain its meaning with some example. So finite verbs are those verbs which changes according to number or gender and the tense of the verb. And there is only one finite verb in a clause. Okay, there is not more than one finite verb in a clause. There is one finite verb in a clause. Okay, so basically clause is such a meaningful group of words and it forms a part of a sentence. It has a subject, that is it has a doer of the action. Okay, and it has a finite verb. Okay, and how many finite verbs it can have? It can have only one finite verb. If you see this example here, life is what we make of it. So what we make of it. Here if you closely observe the maroon bold part, you will observe that we is the subject and there's one finite verb, make. Okay, so if you say we make, instead if the subject would be he, the verb would have been make. So the finite verb changes according to the gender of a number of a person or the tense of the verb. Okay, so what we make of it, so it has a subject, it has a subject, it has a verb, it has one finite verb and it forms a part of a sentence. So that would be a clause. The next example is, I found a seashell which was green in color. If you will look at this beautiful sentence, you will observe that there is an antecedent, that is seashell, okay, which is singular. So the verb would be was. If it would have been seashell, if the antecedent would be seashells, so the sentence would sound like, I found seashells which were green in color. So the clause would look like that. Let us talk about some features or functions of a clause. The first one is, a clause is a meaningful group of words. Any random group of words could not be a clause. Okay, so it is a meaningful arrangement of words. If you see these examples here, make we it of what? It does not make any sense. So that's incorrect. Okay, so the next example is, what we make of it. This actually is making some sense. Okay, so that's why this is a correct one. Similarly, if you look at the second point, a clause has a subject and a predicate. So clause contains subject and a predicate. If you look at this example closely, my younger brother serves in the army. So my younger brother, a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun word, I told you, is a subject. It's a doer of the action. So that's why this serves as a subject, and the latter parts, that is serves in the army, is the predicate of the clause. Point number 3 is, it has only one finite verb. Okay, so the grammatical construction of a clause is such a way that it consists of one finite verb. If you see this example here, I have a friend whose mom is a doctor. Whose mom is a doctor is a clause here. Okay, where there is one finite verb, that is. Okay, so in this clause there is one finite verb, and likewise in every clause there is only one finite verb. Point number 4 is a clause may stand on its own or it may not. Okay, but if it stands on its own, it is a sentence. But if it does not, it must be a part of some longer sentence made up of two or more than two clauses. If you see this example here, we admired her because she is talented. Okay, I told you that it could be dependent and it could be independent. The underlined part of the sentence, okay, the underlined part of the sentence, we admired her, stands on its own, right? So that is dependent clause. But if you see this highlighted bold part in maroon, because she is talented, it cannot stand on its own and it has to depend on the rest of the sentence to convey its meaning. So that is a dependent clause because it is dependent upon the other part of the sentence to convey its meaning. Okay, so that were the features of a clause. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you found it useful. You can comment down your doubts in the comment section below. I love to answer them. Keep learning and keep growing.